Let's take our seat. I was told that when you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Hamjambo. I'm truly grateful to be part of this very important and historic event. History is in the making. Madam Gavashe has said it's the first time the President of Kenya is coming to this facility that is 45 years old. I apologize on behalf of those who came after me, before me, and they have sent me here with their greetings. And they have said that it is never too late to do the right thing. Secondly is that we are launching this plant that in itself is history in the making, and therefore I am delighted to be here, the Isuzu East Africa facility today, to witness history in the making as the company leads our automotive industry to a decisive leap forward. The decision to incorporate the state-of-the-art processes to enhance the standard of local vehicle production to world-class standard is a highly encouraging demonstration of intent by Isuzu to endow the Kenyan manufacturing scene with advanced technologies and enable it attain excellence. This is commendable, especially because this commitment introduces the first electrode deposition paint plant in our region, which comes at a cost of, I'm informed, Kenya shillings 500 million. I want to say to the Isuzu family, congratulations. Notably, the plant is one component of a drive by Isuzu East Africa to deepen its manufacturing operations in order to improve local vehicle production and make it globally competitive. Other enhancements include upgrading the assembly line production for new vehicle models, expanding the service, workshop, and the installation of various plant and machinery to improve production processes. In total, Isuzu East Africa has invested 1.3 billion shillings within the last 4 years in the expansion and upgrade, sending a clear and bold signal of its confidence in Kenya as an investment destination. I would like to believe that this is a positive response to our policy measures, which we have undertaken to provide incentives for investors to bring or increase their investments into Kenya. And I want to commit that the momentum for the enhanced participation of the Kenya government, especially in the realm of providing incentives for manufacturing, is a commitment that I want to make, building on what we have done already, that we are going to not only stay the path, but we are going to accelerate the momentum. Most certainly, this investment aligns with the government's vision to transform our economy by creating an investment climate and business environment that is conducive to inclusive growth that leaves nobody behind in employment and wealth creation, poverty reduction, and the pursuit of sustainable prosperity. Our incentives package for the manufacturing sector is aimed at increasing its contribution to the national GDP to 20% by 2030. I was speaking about this subject this morning. We did undertake 6-7 years ago that we wanted to enhance our manufacturing as a contribution of GDP from 9 to 15%. Unfortunately, it went backwards from 9 to 7.2%. It is the reason why we are now deliberate and intentional on making sure that our policy initiatives speak to manufacturing directly. The reason why we have in our budget this year incentives on how we can use local paint. And I was very pleased. Madam Kabashe told me that they can get all the paint they need produced locally. There is therefore no justification whatsoever for us to continue importing paint which we can manufacture locally. And that is why we have, in our budget this year, provided for incentives for local production by making sure that those who want to import it pay some measure of taxing. Same thing we are doing around manufacturing in other areas. Steel manufacture is another area. We have developed sufficient local capacity. There is no justification anymore for us to continue importing steel, which we can manufacture locally. Same with cement, same with furniture. These are among the issues we are doing, which are intentional, which are deliberate, and which are practical on making sure that we build our manufacturing capacity. And I want to tell Isuzu East Africa, as I tell all our other manufacturers, you can count on the government of Kenya to continue to provide these policy interventions so that we can enhance local manufacturing. For us to get to 15% manufacturing as a percentage of our GDP in the next 5 years, and for us to get to 20% by 2030, it has to be deliberate. It has to be intentional. It has to be practical. It cannot be through guesswork. We just have to be deliberate on what we are doing. Of course, as we do that, there will be issues raised from different quarters. I have encouraged our brothers at the Kenya Association of Manufacturing to work with us on this trajectory. And I was asking them the other day, how can the Kenya Association of Manufacturing be opposed to incentives that enhance manufacturing? It's a contradiction, isn't it? Yes, it is. I mean, they should be the ones celebrating what we are doing to enhance manufacturing. The challenges included policy uncertainty, because that's what Madam Kapashe has said, and instability, especially regarding tax laws, absence of a long-term roadmap for the sector, high costs of production, low volumes, inadequate skilled personnel, regional integration challenges, poor incentives, and the vexing matter of vehicle importation age limit. All this is a conversation we have had for a while. It is my intention to make sure that we get ourselves to the realm where we are doing what is right. A national automotive policy is now in place as sessional paper number 1 of 2022, with mechanisms to support industry growth such as assembly regulations and tax procedures, public procurement framework to support preferential procurement of locally produced units, national policy on local content or Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, and vehicle leasing to government institutions. Let me say the following, that we will expand our government leasing, vehicle leasing program to include many, many more areas, including all our forces, whether it is our military. We're going to be working now on working with NYS, the police, as we are doing at the moment, prisons, and even ministries. We will begin the journey to make it possible for our local manufacturers to supply vehicles to government. The only request I am making to you is that as we buy locally, as we buy new vehicles under the leasing program, you have to guarantee us that these are locally manufactured vehicles employing Kenyans. I was very happy to listen to Madam Kabashe that if we do a few things, we can double the vehicles being manufactured from 11,000 to 24,000 in 2 years. I will do what I have to do on my side. You have to promise me that you will deliver the 22,000 vehicles on your side. And I am asking the ministry, represented here by PS Kombudo, to give me an appointment with these good people, especially in the automotive industry. In the next 2 weeks, we need to have a meeting. And when you come to see me, please prepare yourselves so that you come and tell me what I need to do, and you tell me what you're going to do. And we all agree on what the outcome will look like. That way, we will be able to march together into the future. The used vehicle standards, or the KS 1515, is not yet concluded, while the institutional framework establishing a National Automotive Council and the Local Content Development Assembly regulations remain outstanding. Even in this partially implemented state, the National Automotive Policy has increased the purchase of local vehicles by government, especially through leasing, which has boosted MSME engagement in maintenance throughout the country. Additionally, the change of the assembly regulations to allow different levels of vehicle assembly eased entry for new investors and products into the Kenyan industry, with the assembly of pickups and passenger vehicles resuming. Further, there has been increased local production of vehicles, while new vehicle sales have shifted from fully built units to locally produced or completely knocked down units. I am aware of the opportunity cost of the delays in concluding these policies. As matters stand, we only have one original equipment manufacturer, 5 motor vehicle assemblers, and 32 registered motorcycle assemblers. Together, they assemble 46,000 vehicles and 300,000 motorcycles annually, and even at the current 20 to 30% of capacity, they support around 100,000 direct and indirect jobs. Our ambition is not just for these assemblers to operate at full capacity. We want more to set up so that we can supply the African market with globally competitive units, create more jobs, and enhance skill development, as well as promote safe and eco-friendly mobility that is reliable. I am looking forward, as I did announce on Madaraka Day, that we will be on the journey to assembling motorcycles, electric motorcycles for that matter, that do not use fuel. I am also looking forward to the journey to e-mobility, including pickups, trucks, vehicles, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers in Kenya. By September, we will have built the ecosystem for us to begin that journey. And I am looking forward to the participation of our automotive manufacturers in this journey. It is time for Kenya to claim its rightful place among Africa's leading vehicle manufacturers. South Africa's industry, for example, supports 100,000 direct jobs and over 350,000 indirect jobs, which produces 420,000 vehicles, 106,000 of which are exported. Morocco produces 248,000 vehicles, out of which 173,000 are exported, and in the process creates over 160,000 jobs, while Egypt's automotive industry employs 70,000 people directly and produced 80,000 vehicles in 2020, with projections to scale up to 500,000 vehicles, with exports over 100,000 vehicles. With investments like the electro-deposition paint plant by Isuzu East Africa and its expansion and upgrading project, I am confident that Kenya can propel itself back to original vision, which was to lead African automotive competitiveness throughout the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. I will be making a trip tomorrow, very early morning at 6, to Zambia for a meeting on COMESA and how we can bring together COMESA, East African Community, and SADC into one ecosystem and one market with 720 million people and a GDP of $1.3 billion. As we consolidate the African market, our manufacturers must focus on the bigger opportunity that comes with a consolidated market, not just looking at Kenya, but looking at the region as well. I have heard it is Toyota East Africa. Maybe it's going to be Toyota something. Not Toyota, but Isuzu. It's Isuzu East Africa at the moment. Maybe shortly we will be talking about Isuzu Africa, and we can be able to build that market together. We are listening to you because we want to work together. We want to encourage Isuzu East Africa and other investors to deepen their investment in the country by moving into Tier 1 component manufacturing and rapidly graduating to fully integrated manufacturing plants. This is why we are taking measures to conclude the preparation of the automotive bill in order to guarantee the implementation of the policy and formation of the council. P.S. That exercise should be concluded in the next 120 days. And whatever matters that are outstanding in court, we need to negotiate them out of the courts and get ourselves moving the way we've done in other sectors. We are also proceeding to review existing regulations and standards guided by the objective of enhancing the performance of our automotive industry. We are intent on fully exploiting the immense opportunity presented in the form of our automotive industry's untapped potential. We shall listen, partner, collaborate, and engage industry actors in a committed and intentional manner until the share of automotive industry in manufacturing, as well as the share of manufacturing to our GDP, moves sharply in a positive direction as we have committed ourselves. Let me also inform our automotive industry that recently I was presented with a catalogue of what our military needs to use in their operations, and I insisted that 60% of all the purchases of trucks, pickups, and all the other motor vehicles that are available, manufactured in Kenya, should be procured from the Kenyan industry. I have been very clear in my mind that there is only one way to build our manufacturing capacity. There is only one way how we are going to get the millions of young people in our streets, villages, towns, and shopping centers. There is only one way how we are going to get the 500,000 young people who graduate from our TVETs with skills, with competences, with knowledge, how we are going to bring them on board. We have to be intentional. We have to be deliberate about our manufacturing interventions. And we will work together. We will ensure that government gives priority, preferential priority to local manufacturers. We will ensure that we continue the journey to listen to industry so that they can tell us what they think government can do in terms of policy to support manufacturing so that we can grow our local SMEs expand opportunities for employment, be able to pay the taxman, and all of us be able to move forward. I was very happy when the CEO said they are paid 21 billion shillings in taxes. That was very good. Tuwapige makofi. She did ask me to support the industry by making sure that we deal with the challenge of pending bills. I agree with you, Madam, and I will go out of my way to deal with the challenge of pending bills. But I also need some help. Please, if you can also help me so that we can all begin the journey, not to think so much about debt, but to think so much about how to raise our local revenues. At the moment, as a country, we are raising 14% of our taxes as a percentage of GDP. Japan, our good friends here, are upwards of 34%. They pay more taxes than we do. So I need also some help, Madam Gavashe. If you can persuade all of us to pay tax, I will sort out quickly your pending bills. Yeah, because the only other option I have is to go borrow to pay you, and I have taken the decision that as President of Kenya, we are not going to borrow to pay our debts. That one we will not do, because it is not right to dig one hole to fill another. It is not correct to rob Peter to pay Paul. I think we just have to do the right thing, and I am very happy that the people of Kenya are standing with all of us to make sure that we put our country on the sound footing that we can carry and live within our means. This is the assurance that I have come to give you as I witness this delight, this commendable achievement by Isuzu East Africa, and celebrate one major stride in the progress of Kenyan enterprise. I can see firsthand that our bottom-up economic transformation agenda is in good hands as far as the automotive industry is concerned. Congratulations. When I saw